everybody. This is being recorded Monday morning on the 17th. Fantastic job so far in the first few weeks of the season. I've heard really good feedback from different coaches, along with other brother and sister officials of great things kind of going on. A lot of people have been reaching out to us for different questions and clarifications, so again, keep that coming. Three things for the first few weeks that we just again want to emphasize, right, especially in our pregame. So just three things on this webinar we're going to go over. First thing is remind the coaches of we are looking for full compliance of the eye black ruling. Get it in the pregame. Tell them it's correctable in the pregame. Remember, if there is a coach's challenges, it is a 1 minute of sports line conduct non-releasable foul. Second thing, we're going to use our handy-dandy visual aid here is remind the coaches that despite the substitution area and the pylons moving to a total of 10 yards or 5 yards from each side of the midline, right, so bringing that to 45 if we have football lines, the table area now takes up what is that former area. And so this still goes to the 40. So remind them that players need to be past the 40-yard line in terms of that area. That table area, we're going to allow coaches to creep in there and stay there. The general thought between that is that if the coaches see a player next to them, they can move them back, as versus everybody trying to compete over that 40 and bleeding in together, right? And so again, use our coaches as tools in terms of helping to administrate that. We really want those players to even be behind that line. Every field's a little different. I was in a field where it was only 2 yards marked because there was a track about 4 yards, right? And the table was there. So they didn't want the players standing on the track. Again, think of the idea that the more the players stand towards the sideline and towards the table, that moves the coaches that much further onto the field or in the table area. Again, safety concern, especially not only for the players changing and different coaches if they are in there and not supposed to be, but also our timing table and our timing and table personnel. We want to make sure they're safe. So take a second. If the table's too close, move it back. Should be about 6 yards back, right? As illustrated is where the table should be. The player should be back, and players should be past the 40. So again, in the pregame, get that. How I've been doing again in the pregame, ask the coaches if they certify all of their players correctly equipped by rule. What are your captains? What is your in-home? Do you have questions for us? Okay, awesome, coach. Two things for you. Make sure, hey, we're fully compliant with all of our eye black rule this year, along with make sure our players are not going past the 40. Despite it's 5 yards on each side, 10 yards is still that area. You're doing NCAA or prep. That loading zone is still marked out and is still there. Same concept as that we're doing, right? So again, we want to mimic that. We want to keep these areas clean. The best way to do so, first face-off, second, third, fourth face-off, make sure that wing official, go over to the 50, talk to both teams. Don't just ask one, ask both teams. Coaches remind you, clear you out, should solve it for the thing. Other suggestion, coaches have been putting cones out, which is great. We've actually heard some good things. A few of the games I've worked, as they said, yeah, I've actually heard in the pregame, so continue to do so. Last item, very quickly, is again, in terms of any fan interaction, which you deem unruly. It's not standard fan interaction. If it is noisemakers, right, there's rules about actual noisemakers, about whistles going off or air horns, things like that. That's different. But a noisemaker we got has a parent asked about being a loud fan, which is different than the definition. But remember, there is a CIC handbook, and we put it on the Google Drive for you. It is incredibly lengthy, at about 250 pages. It is more for the schools, but we do have some sections within here. So just to draw your attention to section 12 and 13, again on game control, use your coaches is number one. If it's a prep school game, a few different officials reminded me there might not be site supervisors at different prep school games, especially at the lower level. Use the head coach to that advantage, or use the assistant coaches as well. Send them on over, have them talk to them, right? On a regular CIAC, Federation, public school game, there's going to be a site supervisor, usually some type of AD. Use them. It should be directly interacting. As I said, do not engage with that individual. Use a site representative or a site supervisor to help mitigate that issue. Have them go stand over there. Have them go talk to them, right? Move them if need be, right? Again, a little bit different in the sense of if there's somebody standing behind the end line and we feel it's a safety issue, move them. We don't need the site supervisor coming over. If they come over 2, 3, 4 times, now we're involving the site supervisor, right? So use your judgment, but again, know that you have additional tools to stay out of the weeds and stay out of hot water. If you need to, use that site supervisor to your best of your ability. Outside of that, continue doing a great job. Let us know if you need anything. And again, we'll see you tonight if you jump on the webinar.